I don't care what anybody says, Grand Rapids doesn't suck. Follow the gluten-free breadcrumb trail with me and I'll prove it to you. Grand Rapids considers themselves Beer City, USA. Such an accomplishment. They wear the badge of alcoholism with pride. My Uncle Drew ruined his life with alcoholism. He lost his job, his wife, he's gotten multiple DUIs, he spent time in jail, and there's nothing funny about that. But apparently there's something to be proud of about that in Grand Rapids, apparently. People in Grand Rapids pride themselves on their local beer. Personally, I love Founders, and KBS pridefully boasts an alcohol percentage of 11.2. Why doesn't anybody see the problem here? To quote the ancient philosophy of denial, if you refuse to see the problem, then there is no problem. What problem? Indeed. So I stop in for dinner at Hopcat a couple nights a week, sometimes a few, maybe 4, usually no more than 6. 7 nights a week at the most, every week. What do I get to eat? Anything. Just as long as it's in the form of fries that'll give me a coronary nightmare, which it will. And I think we all know by dinner at Hopcat, I go there to get blind drunk, and I succeed at my goal every time. So much so that I actually don't have memories of being at Hopcat. So I question, was I ever even there in the first place? It's an unsolved mystery, but a non-suck approval check mark for Grand Rapids. Grand Rapidsians, or whatever, carry a lot of Michigan state pride. No doubt, Michigan's easily one of the top 50 states to live in, potentially one of the top 49. Aside from the charm of the Canadian-like winters that seem to last 13 months, they also really pride themselves on University of Michigan football, as they should. And considering the fact that the Wolverines have lost to the Buckeyes for 8 years in a row, it's a very millennial-like pride. It's like, well, both teams should win the game. Even though Ohio State might have scored double the points, we all deserve to win, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I actually consider it an act of hate by the Buckeyes to do all the winning for themselves. It's so insensitive because it's very uninclusive to Michigan fans because they identify as winners too. Even though based on the objective measurement of the score, that's not what they are. So Michigan football gets a non-suck stamp of approval too. Grand Rapids loves to honor Gerald Ford. They name museums, airports, and schools after him. I even have on Gerald Ford themed underpants because that matters. I think it's because Grand Rapids loves a winner. The fact that Gerald Ford was president but never won the presidency is inspiring. He had it handed to him when Nixon resigned. But at least he redeemed himself when he ran for president in the next term and lost. Now, it turns out that Gerald Ford went to Michigan, so things add up with his Wolverine-like mentality when it comes to winning. Now, the farmers market's where it's at. I'm there every day because I love to touch all the produce with my unclean hands that everyone else has touched with their unclean hands before I buy some, only to take it home and eat it without washing it, because I'm a real man. Farmers markets bring the community together through shared pathogens, and I love that about Grand Rapids. Add these now because I forgot, but I don't really care. Now, don't tell anyone, but Grand Rapids has one of the best underground mushroom scenes in the country. You can stock up and microdose every day of the week if you want. But I'm more into macrodosing though. And I get my mushrooms from the best Michigan mushroom shaman alive. And I call him that so that I can believe I'm using a sacred medicine instead of doing drugs, which I am. And thus, that doesn't suck. Now, you don't find Vespas scooter gangs anywhere in the world, but you do in Grand Rapids. To me, there's nothing more intimidating than a gang of white people with graduate degrees riding around on underpowered bikes. Makes quite a statement. And thus, that too doesn't suck about Grand Rapids. When I'm in Grand Rapids, I love to go to Myers Gardens. They have a carnivorous plant conservatory. I don't even look at the plants. I just like to watch the vegans ponder that dilemma. Not even all plants are vegans? It makes the vegans really question their shaky identity. I know they've reached peak confusion when they pass out from low B12 levels. I'm waiting for the day that one of the vegans gets eaten by a carnivorous plant. Imagine that, being eaten by a plant that you worship out of the belief that it's wrong to eat meat. And that plant is eating you, the meat. Then they can't worship the plants because the plants are meat eaters, but also because they're dead. It's like the plants strike back after all the years of being murdered and eaten by the vegans. The vegans never considered that to the plants, they are Jeffrey Dahmer. Of course the plants don't like being killed and eaten, but nonetheless, the circle of life is complete in Grand Rapids. Cue the Elton John music. And thus, Grand Rapids is proven not to suck. One more thing about Grand Rapids that doesn't suck, you beautiful weirdo. I'm bringing my live stand-up comedy show to you March 6th and 7th, right in Grand Rapids, part of the Laugh Fest Comedy Festival. Tickets are on sale now. Grab them, they're going fast. Just go to my website, awakenwithjp.com/events, or hit up the link in the description below. And I'll see you soon, you Grand Rapids weirdo.